Paris and welcome to the last in the current series of The Travel Show. Tonight the focus is on special interest and activity holidays. Over the last couple of years there's been a real change in the travel market. Rather than just lie on a beach, more and more of us are itching to do something, indulging in our hobbies or perhaps trying out new ones. Well, this week I've come to the Cayman Islands to let the uninitiated into my passion, the wonderful world of diving. Later in the programme, what it's like to throw yourself in the deep end and try something new. PR woman Lisa Terhar did just that. Lisa tells us more about how she really found it. And our two travellers, Simon Calder and Fee Glover, give us their verdicts on the best of the activity holidays they've tried this year.
Goodness, I've had this much fun since I left the SAS.
But first, if you've ever considered taking the plunge, literally, here's my no-fuss guide to what's what in diving. The Cayman Islands lie in the Western Caribbean, about an hour's flight south of Miami. I stayed on Grand Cayman, the largest of the three islands. I've flown direct to Grand Cayman from Gatwick. I'm on a dive-inclusive package, and I'm here to show you just what you can expect. And if you're anything like me, you'll get hooked. The Cayman Islands lie in America's backyard, a playground for the rich and the infamous. A country no bigger than the Isle of Wight, it's the world's 5th largest banking centre, so it'll come as no surprise to learn it has a reputation for being pretty glamorous and pricey. But if you come to seek out its other offshore assets, it is possible to keep the costs down. Package deals are one option, and there's guest house and B&B accommodation available. This is Sunset House. It was set up largely to cater for divers. Now, I booked my dive package back in Britain, but you don't have to do that. You can turn up at this hotel or others on the island, and the local dive operators are bound to be able to accommodate you. If you come to the Caribbean, though, you must always bear in mind it can rain very hard. 1 minute brilliant sunshine, the next pouring. But for diving, obviously, that doesn't matter. And the great thing about this place is that you can walk out your front door, plop in the sea, and there it all is. Though you may well have to endure the odd shower, the island's location means they're protected from the worst storms. What do you think is kind of the good qualification for a person to have to be able to dive? What sort of a person do you need to be? Or
just a good attitude, really. I mean, if you set your mind to it, anybody will do it, as long as they have a good attitude. And if you're forced into doing something you don't want to do, then obviously they're not going to have a good time or you know, accomplish their goal. The only thing you have to do is swim 200 yards. There's no time limit. So if you want to do the backstroke for those 200 yards, so be it. You just have to.
Because it's about buoyancy, really, and that kind of thing, isn't it? Rather than being able to be brilliant at breaststroke or...
You don't have to be Mark Spitz, that's for sure.
Who's Mark Spitz?
He's the guy who won that gold medal in the United States for freestyle swimming.
Oh, I guessed he'd have to be American. If you do the resort course and you find you want more, then you can go on to get your certification, which basically means you can dive without an instructor holding your hand. Now, there are two main organisations that do that, the American PADI Group and the British club BZAC. The PADI course takes about 5 days, and BZAC have just launched a new, very similar course that takes about the same amount of time. Learning to dive isn't just about having fun in the pool or the sea. You have to spend half your time in the classroom learning the theory behind diving. Obviously, safety is of paramount importance. If you don't know what you're doing, it can be potentially dangerous. So they teach you all the basics of that. They also teach you how important your buddy is. That is the person that you dive with. Obviously, if there are problems, you can help them, they can help you. And at the end, you have to do a test. But believe me, it's not very difficult.
And remember, it's a marine park, okay? No touching, no teasing, no harassing, no amputation of any marine life whatsoever. You can do that to your buddy, and you can do it to the staff, but we bite back, but keep the marine life alive and well for the next generation. Number 2, gotta have a buddy. Same day, same ocean does not apply in our scenario. You can't get to your buddy within one breath, okay? You're too far away. All right, so please stay close to your buddy.
If I see something that I think is really cool and I want you to see it, I'll say, you look at that and point it out to you. If you're not sure what it is, say, what is it? And if I can't make you understand underwater, I'll say, remember it, and I'll tell you about it on the boat.
Okay.
Any questions, statements, or concerns?
No.
Then the big pool's open.
There's nothing quite like it, and for me, diving is the ultimate in relaxation. These waters are a real mecca for divers of all standards. Last year, over 150,000 divers visited the islands. Every dive site is different. In the Cayman Islands, you probably won't meet as many big fish like sharks and manta rays as you might in, say, the Maldives. But here you're treated to some lovely coral gardens and tons of marine life. And the water is clean and clear. After a day or two out here in the Big Blue, I can guarantee you'll be swapping stories with your fellow amphibians. Terms like sponge barrels, sea fans and whip corals are bound to seep into your vocabulary. And if it's the thought of all that cold seawater that's keeping you from seeking harmony with the deep, then rest assured, this is as warm as a baby's bathwater. I wear a wetsuit largely for protection against something like a jellyfish sting. Though it's unlikely to be uppermost in your mind as you marvel at the world around you, the Cayman Islands are among the safest dive spots in the world and have their own decompression chamber. Unfortunately, what goes down has to come up, and just as you think you could stay here forever, it's time to resurface.
That barracuda
He's not so mean, he's lovely.
he's horrible.
He's beautiful.
I've just given this barracuda a really filthy look. They're so ugly.
The food here in Grand Cayman isn't wildly exciting. It's very Americanized. This place is only around 500 miles or so from the States, so there are a lot of hamburgers and that kind of thing kicking around. But if you look hard enough, you can find lovely places where the locals eat, and they serve food like this, fish tea, which is fish soup, and it's gorgeous. Turtles are a popular local snack here, but I prefer to see them in a tank than in my soup. This commercial turtle farm, in fact, releases thousands of them into the sea each year. Other things to do on land in Grand Cayman include a visit to this huge new botanical garden, highlighting the flora and fauna of the islands. And there's some seriously laid-back beach life to be enjoyed. There's also a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to go to hell. This Cayman village, nestling amongst some really weird limestone rock formations, offers a unique postcard opportunity.
It's great, and if you come here, you really must do this. It's a brilliant experience. And I was quite frightened at first, but oh look, somebody comes to see us. But you get a bit braver, and ooh. I think I need to go back for some more, actually.
These creatures are so used to human contact it can be overwhelming, but it's all perfectly safe, though the stingrays do occasionally give you a nasty suck. I could have gone diving somewhere like the Red Sea, which is cheaper and closer to home, but I wanted to try the Cayman Islands because they're supposed to be one of the top spots in the Caribbean. And the diving here is lovely. There are some beautiful, huge coral walls that you can dive down, coral gardens, loads of fish, tunnels you can swim through. The operation here, the dive operation, is also very good. If you can afford it and you want to learn, then I think you'd be in very safe hands. As far as other things to do on Grand Cayman go, well, there are golf courses and there are a few tourist sites, but I mean, if I wasn't diving or snorkeling, I think I'd get bored. But if that's what you want to do and you want the Caribbean experience, then I think you'd be happy here. My dive package cost £995. That included flights, transfers, accommodation, and of course the diving. That price is with specialist dive tour operator J&J Travel until December the 14th. If you're an absolute beginner, training for your PADI Open Water Certificate qualification costs £184. Over the summer, Fee Glover and Simon Calder have checked out a number of special interest holidays, from surfing in Cornwall to cooking in Thailand. If you're planning a bit more than just a couple of weeks lying on the beach next summer, here's Fee and Simon's own guide to what's what in the world of action holidays.
We've tried our hand at all sorts of adventure and activity holidays, from the rough and tumble to the more serene, including some we've brought back home.
Last time I think you cooked me a meal, we were on the west bank of the Chao Phraya River in Bangkok. Now we're on the south bank of the Thames in your jolly nice flat. But what are you cooking?
Well, this is going to be curried chicken, which is taken from the recipe book that I brought back from the cooking course. I don't think I've managed to keep it very well in pristine condition.
But some action.
Everything that I know about Thai cooking came from Khun Pip, and I hope that she did a good job. I was on a stopover in Bangkok with 2 days to spare and a desire to escape the hustle of the city. So just 45 minutes upriver is the home and school of Khun Pip. So which ones are the most important in Thai cookery? If we were going to try and take some things home with us.
Ginger. You see?
Yeah.
Ginger is grow up look like your hand or your finger. For ginger, we can eat like we cook with chicken. We slice thin, chop it very fine. And same family with kalanga. This one is kalanga. You can see kalanga.
Kalanga?
Yeah, kalanga is grow up look like your feet or chicken feet. Some of my students said, yeah. Some of my students said, you can see. Okay, let me.
It doesn't really smell of anything.
See, I need you to try.
Okay.
See, kalanga is
And
hard.
if that, blimey. If you're a Kalanga novice, don't worry. This is more of a watch and learn course, a bargain at £160, including lessons, river transfers, food and accommodation. But you can get your hands messy nearer home, learning from celebrity chefs like Sophie Grigson, or maybe join a weekend cookery class in Normandy for £200 plus the ferry.
This series of the travel show has been so full, we've not been able to show you everything we want to of some of the marvellous places we've been to. I think the best discovery I've made this summer was in the south of France, when I went in search of the secret gardens of Provence, starting off at the Domaine du Réole. The domain's a collusion of plants from Mediterranean climates all over the world, collected together on France's southern shore. Cheap and frequent buses and trains make garden hopping on the Côte d'Azur as easy as, well, falling off a surfboard. You need a surfboard, or better still a boat, to reach the island of Porquerolles. It's France's smallest national park, and when you get below the surface, you discover the country's finest garden. Park rangers will rent you a snorkel and direct you to the sub-aqua trail for just a couple of pounds. From next month, you'll be able to get to Nice, the jumping-off point, from either Luton or Liverpool Airport for under £100 return. Or if you'd rather buy a package, week-long organised garden-hopping jaunts around southern France cost about £800 all in.
You know, out of all the things that you did in France, that underwater garden was the one thing that I really wished I could fit into my trip.
It was wonderful, but you were off shopping.
Yeah, it's one of the things I do best. If, like me, you're that breed of holiday punter who enjoys the sensation of wallet opening, no matter how naff the goods are. Plastic. then I'll be seeing you in Saint-Tropez. Warehouses, shops, fairs, stalls on the street. Again, local tourist offices are full of leaflets about the dozens of antique shops along the Côte d'Azur. This is an activity holiday you can organise yourself without any formal training. Of course, you'll be offered a tourist price, but you are expected to bargain a little harder than I did. 2,500, yeah? I like them. 1,800?
The really best price I can do is 2,000.
Right. Yep, I'll take them for 2,000. Okay. How I'll get them home, I don't know. They did arrive back undamaged, and because we're all in Europe, there's no import duty to pay, so buy while the pound is strong.
This food just looks great.
Well, you know, the only time that I've seen you cook in the whole series, it was a complete disaster, wasn't it?
Now, that's a reference to my boat across the Irish Sea and to the coast of Wicklow, when certainly I did have to learn the ropes, and I was so wound up about that I couldn't really make a go of it in the galley.
Give us a shout if you want a hand, Simon. It smells like you do. Shut up. Oh, look. Oh, fire.
A basic course in sailing, not cooking, can be done in under a week, but my 7-day trip costing £350 allowed plenty of time to see Ireland. If it's more of a holiday you want, I'd suggest a flotilla trip around the Greek islands. You drift from one beach to the next, eating, drinking and having a go if you want to, for as little as £400.
What are the things that you should look out for? Because presumably there are quite a few, and dare I say it, sharks out, in the Med running rather dodgy operations.
Yeah, the first thing to do, I would say, is get in touch with the Royal Yachting Association. They're the governing body, and they'll tell you who's legit and so on. And that's actually a good rule to follow for any activity holiday. For instance, if you want to do some climbing, contact the British Mountaineering Council.
So I'll test you on your acronyms now. Do you know what BSA stands for?
British Surfing Association?
Yes. My surfing weekend was a bargain, £79 for everything, including accommodation. It's an addictive introduction to an addictive sport. There are 10 BSA-approved surf schools in Cornwall with qualified instructors who won't kick sand in your face if you're as useless as I was. Their guide, Surfing in Britain, has details on 200 surfing spots around the country. What was the most expensive one that we did?
That's be Zimbabwe.
Oh, right, yes.
Nice safari, over £2,000. But it was kind of worth it just for that 20 seconds of sheer terror. The Traveller's motto is take only photographs, leave only footprints. But when me and Ken went tracking rhino at dawn, he took a gun too, just to be on the safe side. There's another patch just down here where Ken's going. Where they were lying down. Quickly, yeah. Quickly. Okay, has he seen us, do you think? Yes. He's seen us. He looks very, very mean. Is he angry? Yes. Prehistoric creature with very, very sensitive ears. Coming. This is absolutely terrifying. He is looking straight at us, looking very, very mean, trying to protect the female and the calf. And I think I might have to disappear behind that tree any minute, and I come with you, with me if Okay. Getting pretty serious. He was looking us straight in the face, so I just made for the nearest tree as recommended by Ken. I reckon the best time for a Zimbabwe safari is during the dry season from May to October, when the animals are concentrated around the waterholes. The rhinos are a bit grumpy though. You can visit Zimbabwe more cheaply if you sign up for an overland tour, travelling in a truck and camping every night for as little as £100 a week plus flights. Check out the ads in the travel pages of the weekend papers and make sure you find out exactly what's included, so the only frights you get are from the wildlife.
And where would you really like to go now?
I think I'd just like to continue cycling gently around the world on my silly little red bicycle, because it's a great way to meet people. They all think it's a little bit eccentric, but they all want to have a go. And you travel around just seeing the place at just the right speed. What about you?
I would like to try snowboarding, just because I reckon that there must be a sport that begins with S that I can do, and I certainly can't surf and I can't ski. And I'd like to go to Hong Kong, because everyone raved on about how much it was going to change after 1997. You had to get there before the handover. And I'd just be quite interested to see if it actually actually has.
Good plan.
For details of Fee and Simon's adventures as well as other holidays in this week's travel show, send a large self-addressed envelope with a 39p stamp to P.O. Box 191, Stockport, SK2 4PN. Please include a cheque or postal order for £1 made out to the BBC. Details can also be found on CFAX, page 627.
During this series of the Travel Show, I've been really impressed by the sheer courage and blind faith of those viewers prepared to take up our You Pay, We Say challenge. Basically, they gave us their cash and we chose a very different sort of holiday for them.
Oh, my stars!
Yes, yes. Right.
We sent 2 party animals and their designer clothes to rough it in Turkey on a conservation holiday. Liz Jenkins, a 59-year-old retired schoolteacher, craved adventure, so we sent her on her first holiday out of the country to Guatemala to fend for herself.
I've left my camera in the shop.
And then there was Val Swindley, who turned out to be scared of water on a sailing holiday. And another person who really wasn't expecting her surprise was Lisa Terhar, darling of the PR world and MD of her own firm.
Lisa and her family live in West London. At the beginning of the series, we persuaded Lisa to hand over the cash she was going to spend on a short break.
Now listen, look after your Veruca, yeah? Do your reading.
We chose a holiday on Lisa's behalf, something she wouldn't normally have chosen herself.
I had absolutely no idea where they were going to take me. It said warm and wet. They said pack and think warm and wet. So, I mean, I had lots of ideas. Maybe it was going to be the Caribbean, maybe it was going to be scuba diving in Eilat.
I can't believe I'm doing this. Oh, you are going to spend this week in the heart of Devon, learning how to fly fish. What happened to the cruise? What happened to the Everglades? Lisa. Hi, darling. How are you? They're taking me. Are you listening? Fly fishing. Fly down there? No, we're in a Peugeot 106, darling.
I don't know what the people are going to be like. I have no idea. I can't really think except men, older, rich.
This is where we're going to spend the next 4 days. Just here on the left. Landless Jewish peasant meets country pursuits. Oh dear, very quiet and proper. This is beautiful. Wow.
I've got 4 days, no kids, no animals, no husband, my own bed, nobody to scream at me, shout at me.
Lovely, lovely-dovey. Super.
Today is day 1 and I'm going to start bonding with fish. And what do I do exactly with this?
Well, we'll show you later on. But you need to take it with you, and when we get down, we'll set it up. And
It's very light.
they weigh about 2.5 to 3 ounces. Yeah.
Very light. I'm looking forward to it, but I've a bit of trepidation. I don't know if I'll be any good at it. Why have you decided to take the course, Dorothy?
Because my husband made me. I really didn't want to. I wanted to stay home and do the cooking and cleaning like a good little housewife. But my husband insisted I came with him and had a bit of enjoyment. So I came along and let's see what happens.
Well, I'd a twaddle.
Right, for the benefit of those who haven't fished before, when you put the rod together, just push the 2 pieces together, pull all the leader out first. Now this is what bad fishermen do. The most common faults are breaking your wrist too much and taking the rod back too far behind, and if you do that, the line will shoot up in the air and spring back in a heap.
Rubbish. I mean, this is no antidote to the office at all. This is pure frustration on frustration and then more frustration.
That was a... You want to hit those fish, right? Instead of letting the line lie out and fall gently into the water so that you don't scare them, right? You're so uptight, you're so aggravated, you want to bloody hit them.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day 2 of the fishing course.
and we are fishing a nymph or a fly below the surface, a wet fly of some description.
And this is a holiday, is it? This is a holiday. Whose idea was this bloody holiday? Dorothy and I are wet, cold, miserable.
Like a cup of tea.
Like a cup of tea.
Doing one more.
The boys are still going at it, despite torrential rain. So bloody macho, aren't they? We've had 2 days on the lake, but today we're fishing on the river. I've been married for 17 years and I've never had time on my own. I've been doing my job, I've been doing the kiddie thing, I've been doing the husband thing, and now is my time to fly, and I want to fly, and I'm going to do it. This is really enchanted, this is beautiful. You can hear the river and you can feel the breeze, much nicer, much more fun. I got a bite. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. You see, it's the tug that's the exciting bit. Somehow or other, you know, that fish decides that your fly works for it, and it's really very, very, very special. I'm really excited. It's like winning a new client.
Oh, I can't do this part. Oh, I can't do this part, Roy. Ah! Woo! Came out.
Aren't you clever? How about that? Well done.
Oh, I'm so excited. Lisa caught one as well. She caught a baby salmon.
Okay. L'chaim.
Chaim. Our first fish. Cheers.
Cheers. I enjoyed meeting Dorothy enormously. I thought she was great fun. She was really interesting. It's like when your PC breaks down. Have you ever had that happen? Right, you've got, win-word error, right? You sit there and you just go, and now what am I going to do? And yeah, we've kept in contact and we've had lunch. We had a very boozy lunch. I got enough of a taste that I would consider doing it again. Now, it's not that I would never consider doing it again. It just doesn't fit into my lifestyle at the moment. But I didn't feel as if I'd really integrated the key things that would have made me able to go out on my own with any kind of confidence and to think I was doing it the right way. Oh, I enjoyed being filmed, yes. Yeah, I enjoyed being filmed. I thought that was really good fun. It was a new experience, it was quite funny. And the best thing, of course, was when people recognised me on the train the day after or a week after. I felt like a bit of a celebrity. My 15 minutes of fame.
Lisa's 4-day fishing course cost £558. That included tuition, equipment, the fishing licence and half board staying at the Arundel Arms in Devon. The season's coming to an end, but there'll be more courses next year.
If you're stuck in a rut and you'd like us to give your holiday habit a makeover, we're looking for people to take part in the You Pay We Say challenge for our winter series. Remember, all you have to do is give us your budget and we'll do the rest. If you're interested, then write to us now at The Travel Show, You Pay We Say, Oxford Road, Manchester, M60 1SJ. Well, that's it for this series. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be back at Christmas and again in the new year. Until then, goodbye.
Stand by for High Colour next tonight on BBC Two from Changing Rooms.
When the truth's too hard to bear.
I just can't